You're such an asshole.
Finishing up work here today. Only got 2 more after this at assholeconsulting.com, where you can get advice that no one else in the world is going to give you, because I don't give 2 flying shits about your feelings. I just give a shit about you. So nice. Hello, asshole. Returning customer here. I was wondering whether or not I should expand my tangible asset holdings beyond my precious metals portfolio. Since I last contacted you, I've accrued another 50 ounces of tangible silver bullion. No girlfriend, so sadly no silver dollar bikini, which to this day is still a brilliant idea. It is ahead of its time. That is the only reason it hasn't sold. It's because of the closed-minded fools that populate this world. And I've been curious as to how I can go about expanding into other tangible real asset markets without spreading myself too thin or exposing myself to foolish amounts of risk. At present, I have about $14,000 of liquidity, $5,000 of which I would feel comfortable investing in. In short, what tangible assets, aside from precious metals, can I invest into that offer the most for my money? Regards, Matthew. Well, for your situation right now, you're a single man, you're doing pretty good. And I asked you, well, what do you got? And you said you have, well, hang on, let's see what you got. All right, you have 0.2 of an ounce of gold. You have 78 ounces of silver. And you have a 9mm pistol. And 2 extra magazines and 200 rounds. Okay, so that's a good start. But my general rule of thumb is for every adult individual, you need 200 ounces of silver. I don't like gold because it's not divisible enough. And then there are other things that I would recommend having, which I'll get to here in a hierarchy or an order. But as it is right now, with your $5,000 you're willing to spend, you have 70 ounces, so you're 130 ounces short. What is it? Let's do the math. It's roughly 20 per physical piece. I'm just going to do the math simply. Times 130. All right, that's $2,600. So that's half your money gone there. And then here's understand why you're investing in silver, and for other people who might be watching this. You are not investing in silver hoping it goes up. You are actually hoping it goes down. You are hoping it goes back to $3 an ounce. Because that indicates the economy is growing and there's other better things to do with your money than invest in precious metals. Because precious metals really don't do anything. They are a store of they are an insurance against hyperinflation or collapse. Okay? So once you get your 200 ounces, you're done. You never have to worry about precious metals again unless you want to take an even larger position to ensure additional wealth. All right? But for your average single guy or single gal, you got your 200 ounces. This should be a goal. Like, if it was up to me, Grandma and Grandpa wouldn't be giving you fucking savings bonds where you earn your 0.0006% interest. They'd be giving you silver. All right. So once you're done with that, you can be done with one of your key life financial chores, and that is to have enough precious metals invested. Boom, you're done. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do, and this isn't necessarily assets, this is just additional insurance, is you have a 9mm Glock. That's fine. But that's not going to help you drop animals or drop people in a post-apocalyptic world. What I would recommend is you get yourself an AR-15, check your eyesight, see if you can shoot with iron sights or if you want to put a scope on it, and get yourself, you're a little shy on rounds. 200 rounds for the 9mm is okay, but then I'd be getting 223 or 556 rounds that will go with the AR-15. And I'd probably get 1,000 rounds of that. And then, aside for a shotgun for in-home protection, you're pretty much taken care of with post-apocalyptic, absolutely necessary shit. We could go into the world of, you gotta get a bug out bait. You gotta get a certain amount of freeze-dried food and all that kind of prepper stuff. But right there for a single guy without a house, you're set to go. Okay, so that'll take care of your precious metals and then like your actual physical protection. Now, as for what to go forward to, because you got the cash for this, you're making money, and the next issue is, okay, what do I save up for next? Well, here's the priority or the hierarchy that I go in. First, you get your precious metals, okay? That's your number one, because it's relatively cheap to secure that position, and you're good to go. Second thing, guns and ammo. Also relatively cheap. I mean, I know these aren't cheap items, but compared to a house, they are. After you have that, fine, you're taken care of. Crisis hits again. The next thing I would be doing is looking at property. And the reason I look at property is because it can serve you in three capacities. One it eliminates your single largest expense, and that is rent. Okay? I know they always say, well, that way you're building up equity. But you have to understand, you have to pick the right property. So for a single guy, you're looking at a small house, a condo without an aggressive homeowners association, maybe land with a trailer on it. Something that if not even the shit hits the fan, you just have a bad spell. You lose your job, the economy goes in recession. You never have to worry about being homeless. You never have to worry about rent. That biggest single expense is taken care of, and that not only provides a lot of safety and security, but it makes your financial planning for the rest of your life a hell of a lot easier. If you don't have a mortgage, or if you got at least that house taken care of, that makes the rest of your life that much easier. Because there are people that will spend easily more than $500,000 nowadays with houses starting in the 400,000s. People are going to be spending multiple millions of dollars on interest expense that they're never going to get back. So if you buy smart and wise, you get a minimalist house, you're taken care of. So that is where the rest of your money, I think, should start going towards. It's not necessarily going to be the house that you want to live in or forever want to be. I also would recommend getting Reconnaissance Man, exploring the country, figuring out where you'd like to live. But the next major investment you're going to make, aside from the book Reconnaissance Man, and the travel that you would go and try and find out where you belong in the country, would be putting towards a down payment towards a modest minimalist house. All right, so that one takes care of your rent expense. You'll never be homeless. The second benefit of housing is it has the potential for rental income. If you're not there, you can rent it out. Problem is you'd be an absentee landlord. There's other issues that come with that, but you at least have that option to generate some income from that asset. All right, it's not just and in that capacity, it's better than silver. Silver doesn't poop out little silvers. Your silver dollar does not poop out silver mercury dimes and they grow up to be silver dollars. That doesn't happen. But with rental property, you can rent it out. So you might have a roommates while you're there. You might have rent it to your trustworthy friend that you know is not going to fuck the place up while you're gone, or going and taking a job at the Bakken oil field, or whatever it is you're going to do. So that's the second thing, is the rental income generation potential. And the third thing is if you can get a little bit of land, that will allow you to grow your own food. So again, you're providing further insurance against a collapse or hyperinflation in food. You can grow your own food. You don't have to worry. So look at those two major things. You taking care of food and shelter. The only thing left is clothing. I mean, and that's great right there from purely like minimalist standpoint. Whether the economy collapses or not, you don't. If you got food and shelter and a rental income, like your buddy's paying your rent, generating the income, now you're really close to a position of fuck you. Now forget post-apocalyptic collapse. If your boss is just a dick at the office and is abusing, they say, fuck you, I don't need you. Because you don't. You got food and shelter and income taken care of. So in addition to the silver or precious metals, in addition to your guns and ammo, now you have a domicile, a residence, and all these other benefits that come with it. And if you can get that early on enough in life, that flexibility, that safety, that security will allow you to do much better in terms of financial planning, in terms of being able to hold out for higher paying jobs. You're not desperate because you need the job. That is where the next step I would go. But remember, you could fuck it up if you buy the wrong property. So investing in property is a whole separate video, almost a book entirely. And you can read a chapter I write in Bachelor Pad Economics on housing. But that is where I would start looking at next. Then down the road after that, okay, fine. Then you start looking at 401ks, IRAs, if you believe that shit's going to be around or they're not going to tax the fucking shit out of it down the road. Although Trump, you never know. He might actually, you never know. But that would be your next step, your next priority in terms of hierarchy. And not hierarchy, chronologic order, order of importance. So yeah, that would be your next step. So start looking for houses. I would recommend you actually go travel a fair amount, make sure you want to live where you're living. And once you're set on where you want to live, then start looking for housing property and start evaluating, like, I don't know what climate you live in, but if you can get by with a trailer or a micro house or a mobile home, start thinking about that stuff, because you can always upgrade and get a fancier house. Right now, you just want cheap as possible living. So Hope that helps out. If you guys got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. Visit my site, captaincapitalism.blogspot.com. Go to the podcast, the Clarey Podcast, found on soundcloud.com. And what else the fuck is there? Oh, and my books. You can find those all available at amazon.com by searching Aaron Clarey. Best of luck to all of you. Toodles.